Let's try to understand the difference between directly proportional and inversely proportional. So imagine you've got two people, takes 6 hours to dig a trench that's 10 meters long. So here you've got two people, takes 6 hours to dig 10 meters. So if you double the number of people working on the job, so if you times this by 2, so if 4 people working on the job, in the same period of amount of time, you would expect the 4 people to be able to dig 20 meters. If you triple the amount of people on the job, so if you have 6 people working on the job, then in 6 hours you would expect the 6 people to be able to dig 30 meters. So the point is that you times this by 2, then you times this by 2. You times this by 3, you times this by 3. And if you halve the number of people working on the job, so only one person working on the job, then that person would only be able to dig 5 meters. So if you divide this by 2, then you divide this by 2. It has that kind of a relationship. Well, that is directly proportional. So directly proportional is when you times by 2 on this side, you times by 2 on this side. You times by 3, you times by 3. Now let's look at the relationship between people, so 2 people, and time, 6 hours. Now if you double the number of people, so you put 4 people in the job, then you would expect the time taken to dig this 10-meter trench to be half, because you double the number of people, then it only takes half the amount of time. So if you times this by 2, then you divide this by 2. If you times this by 3, so six people working on the job, then you divide this by 3. So it only takes 2 hours. It only takes 2 hours to dig that trench. Now if you divide this by 2, divide this by 2. So one person working on the job would take twice as long. So it would take 12 hours. So here you divide this by 2, you times this by 2. It has that kind of a relationship. So inversely proportional is when you times this side by 2, then you divide this by 2. You times this by 3, then you divide this by 3. If you divide this by 2, then you times this by 2. So that's inversely proportional. Okay?